Right guys, this is my first video after a competitive Charlton League fixture. Obviously very buzzing, the result's massive, 1-0 at home, clean sheet, you can't really ask for much more. I'm not going to sing the song, it's absolutely cursed. You might be wondering why I've sort of the same clothes on. It's because quite frankly, I've done the videos from before, gone to the game, not really changed, sort of come home and just done a video. It's pretty bad, poor showing by me, but I've had a terrible time with this camera, and that's going to be a huge part of this video. And also, full disclaimer now, this video is not what I expected it to be. It's not got the same quality I was hoping for, and it's all a massive learning curve for me. And mainly I felt the need to put the video up because I felt like when I made my post on Charlton forums, I told my friends I was going to do this. There's no way I could shirk away from not putting some content up. Even if it gets like no views, I had to put my face and recording on there because I felt like if I didn't, put my foot in the door, I wouldn't do it. So I'm still counting this as content from the 46 to the 46. I've still got some clips from the game, but what I'm going to talk about first, because I feel it's more interesting, is the downfall of the camera and what happened today and why my content was so bad and all that sort of jazz. And then afterwards, I'm going to sort of talk about the game and sort of break it down. Obviously not too thoroughly, because I don't expect someone to watch my ugly muck talk for 20 minutes about a Charlton result. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to run you through what happened with the camera. So I had the full intent of doing a vlogging Charlton channel for the whole season, and I had this all planned out in my head, and the plan was it'd be like I'd have like a bit of music, I'd go to the game, few slow shots of like the beautiful graffiti of the monument, what we're gonna call it, on Charlton Bridge, and clips of the train station of the fans walking in and the Valley Cafe and what have you. But unfortunately, reality bites sometimes. I've had just struggles with the camera. So initially what I had was I was documenting myself like this in my kitchen, speaking to the camera. And it didn't really strike me to test the footage. I just thought, I've done a few little mini tests, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk to the camera, get it going. Unfortunately, when I'd done these videos, I had done a whole segment talking about obviously the league predictions from 1st to 24th, and it was quite in depth, to be honest with you, and I do have a lot of notes. The problem is I was speaking to the camera for about, I don't know, half hour, give or take, and I realised that my camera had a weird setting on where the camera turns off after a certain amount of time recording. So I was actually talking to myself for a lot of the time, and because I was so honed in on looking at the lens only, I didn't really notice the camera stopped recording on the right where I can see it clearly now. So unfortunately, because of a non-natural camera recording perspective for myself, I didn't really notice that I was talking to myself, which is embarrassing. But anyway, so that was the first hiccup. The second hiccup was it was fucking shit weather, typical English weather. My plan was to go outside and sort of have the camera in front of me and just get a feel for what it's like to talk in the open world outside my four walls and get used to it and be in public and talk around people. Unfortunately, as you know, the weather was terrible. I couldn't record outside, so I thought I'm going to have to record in the comfort of my own home. So all that went wrong. So anyway, I got the train down to London, and on the train, me being me and just me maybe overthinking it, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll watch a video on YouTube. Despite me recording videos at home and knowing the camera now works after my first fault with recording my predictions, I'm going to now watch a video of some bloke who I don't know telling me what my camera settings are. So I watched the video, set on my camera settings to what the video guided me to, and what do you know? It messed up my camera. So I got to London Bridge, very enthusiastic, thinking, right, it's Charlton, first game of the season, can't wait, I've missed the Valley, I've missed being around, Charlton fans, friends, etc, etc. Can't wait to start this journey. I get to London Bridge and I see a group of fans. Who knows? I might watch the video. Someone you may know might know them. I don't know. But I approached them because it was a mixture of Leyton Orient and Charlton. I thought this is perfect. I can speak to them and get an idea of what Leyton Orient fans' expectations are for the season and speak to a few optimistic Charlton fans. So anyway, I go up to them and I sort of engage in conversation, probably like a bit of a weirdo. And I'm like, Hello there, gents. Would you mind if I ask a few questions about Charlton? Obviously, I'm a new vlogger. I'm looking to sort of venture into this world. Can I get some of your time? These blokes were happy to engage with me, and they said, yeah, we can do that. And there was no real objection there. So I've got my camera selfie stick out, and I start, going, I'm going to record you now, guys. And they're like, what questions are you going to ask? I said, I'll sort of just ask you what you think the result will be, who your main dangers are of player. So obviously Leyton Orient fans, that is. I know the Charlton dangers. And, just keep it flowing naturally. So I get there, press record. What happens? Doesn't record. It turns out when I watched the video of this chap on YouTube, it basically reset all my settings. So the setting up I did at home with my, if you want to call it a selfie stick, this Bluetooth to my camera, it had reset. So when I pressed the record button, it didn't work. And then I thought, right, that's a bit of a nightmare. So I couldn't record with the stick, so I had to record with the camera. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't got the most steady hands. I kind of need the support because it's hard to hold a camera up for a certain amount of time. So I thought what I'll do is I'll reset the stick. So I spent the duration of the train journey resyncing this stick to the camera. And obviously that just took up too much time. And then when I got off the train, the weather wasn't great, so I thought I can't go around talking to people. When I finally did get to the grounds, I thought the last thing anyone's going to want is this schmuck coming up to people and going, oh, can I interview you about a Charlton game when the weather's shit? And everyone's sort of just trying to mind their own business. So I thought I sort of missed an opportunity where it was kind of perfect. I had a group of different sets of fans. They're all very welcoming. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do a poor take for the sake of it. I'd rather just be honest and say I made a mistake, and I lacked the knowledge of the camera vlogging world, and I thought this made more sense to do a video about that. So anyway, I got to the grounds. I was with my friend who I dragged along. She was quite happy to come, so that was good. It was good to get someone else to a Charlton game other than my cousin who I normally go with. And I've got a new season ticket in the West Stand, and I'm quite unfamiliar with the West Stand, so I'm normally a North Ends person or North upper to the corner, and I went through the wrong turnstile. So my season ticket wasn't actually there. It was to the turnstile to the left. So that was another blunder, lack of preparation again. Take notes for next time. And I thought I have a great shot here because the Charlton fans are coming out. Red Robin's playing. I can see Leyton Orient fans to my right. So I go up the staircase, and there's a steward there, and she denies me access. And I thought this is a great shot for the start of the video. Couldn't get it. She wouldn't let me. And the reason why is because my bag wasn't checked. I didn't have a sticker on my bag, which again is it's frustrating because I should have made sure that it got checked. But at the same time, because I got through security at the turnstiles, my assumption was I'll be fine, I'll be good to go. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I got rejected going on the stairs and doing my little recording segment. So another missed opportunity, pretty annoyed at that. Made my way back down to obviously down the West Stand to the bottom where I got my bag checked and went through the turnstiles that were allocated to my season ticket. At this point, I'm just gonna be honest, guys. I fully intend to do this. I'm not someone who's really camera shy. I'm more than happy and sociable to come up to you guys and talk to you. But being frank, just because of the weather and not getting the shots I wanted and missing out on opportunities with camera issues, I sort of did get a little bit disheartened, but I thought I'm just going to try and... So what I've done is I've recorded certain things, and I'm going to post them here after this rant, obviously. And I got a few clips of celebrating goals, a few shots of us singing songs, chants, fans, a bit of the after reaction of the game, and a free kick that Alfie May missed. So I'm still going to add that in, and that's just as a test to show you guys what the quality looks like, and I'm quite happy with it actually. The quality is very good, but yeah, ultimately, just for better term, I can't really think of better words right now, but it was a complete shit show. But I thought I've got to get this video up because it's really important I get the ball rolling and sort of just show people what I'm like as a character and just get used to it as a whole. So I'm going to cut from here, show you a few clips, and then afterwards I'm going to go into a post-match analysis on what I think about the Charlton game. I'm not going to try and make it too long because I appreciate I've just rambled on for a stupid amount of time about saying it was completely my fault. So with that said, guys, I'm going to put a bit of footage up. Hope you enjoy the footage. Right, so you've seen the footage. That's sort of what I'm hoping to get quality-wise. One thing I have noticed about the mic is that it's got a lot of static noise, especially in the flat. When I'm outside, it's not as bad, but that's something we're going to work on again. It was all very rush. The camera arrived on Friday. I saw it. It was just poor planning by me and just shoddy. But again, like I say back, is that I just wanted to just make sure I get some content out there, because I feel like if I don't do it, then I'm just going to skip a game and maybe get like demotivated, demoralised. So I thought it was really important just to talk to whoever wants to watch this video. So anyway, moving on from that, it's going to be a lot better next time. I'll be travelling to Newport on Tuesday. I'm obviously going to bring the camera again. I've had more experience in that time window, frame, whatever. I've obviously got Monday to figure out some kinks of it as well. And I'm going to make sure that it's obviously a lot better, a lot more footage, and I'm going to get a lot more involved with people. And I'm hoping I can speak to a few more people this time. And I'm going to be looking to talk to some Newport fans as well. So yeah, with that said, I'll just move on to the match review. But yeah, we're looking for a better experience at Newport and Peterborough. And I really promise to make sure it's better content. Like I said, I really am sorry. And that's that really. But yeah, moving on. For the result, 1-0, Leyton Orient, fantastic. I'll mention Leyton Orient first because I want to ramble on a bit, Charlton a bit. I really think that Leyton Orient were better than what we probably accredited them for, what they'd be. I thought they were really solid. I thought they caused us a lot of problems attacking. I felt like we got let off a few times. I remember Ness in particular made like a bit of a crucial block or interception, whatever you want to call it, which was going to be certainly a shot on goal. I think they looked quite clever up front. I think number 11, Archibald, like a real player, to be honest. I think they've got a good player on their hands there for League One. I think, as I've said before, Joe he's a good striker. I don't by any stretch think he's going to score 50 goals, 40 goals, but I think he's going to be in the double digits for Leyton Orient, certainly. And I think that's quite a pickup on a free as well. And I think that I look at them players like Archibald, Joe, and I think that's quite a good attacking line. And they've also got the main man injured at the moment, who again I expect to come back and be firing for them, Dan Agee. And the other player I want to mention is obviously Darren Pratley. I think he completely neutralised Scott Fraser, and that's what we know. That's what we knew about Pratley. He'd done his old antics. He's a bloke that's 6 foot. He ain't no little kid, and he wins fouls. He throws himself on the floor. It's just what he's good at. I think he frustrated a few other players, and Omar Beckles as well, who I was quite a fan of when he was at Shrewsbury. He's a good player, and yeah, I think that's a real quality. And also another note to their keeper. I think I mentioned back on my other video is that they lost an integral part of the team, which is their keeper. Would they be able to replace him? And I think evidently, based on the game against Leyton Orient, they have. I think he looked like a good sweeper. I think he made quite a clever save against Alfie Mays, one of his chances. And I think he looked like quite good actually, their keeper. So I don't think they have a problem there. I think he was very aware, he was quick up his line, and he shut down a lot of our plays. So yeah, I was impressed with what I saw of Leyton Orient. I think, as I predicted, I don't see him being in any trouble, and I could definitely see them getting a solid mid-table finish or just below. So credit to them, and obviously their fans, fantastic turnout. Sell-out away ends. I love seeing a sell-out away ends. I don't really care if they're singing songs about we're shit and all that sort of stuff. It don't bother me. I love football atmospheres, and I thought their fans were decent in voice. Like, they weren't standing up the whole game and giving it large, but they backed their team enough vocally for what was quite a tight game, and it was a good turnout for them. So yeah, hats off to them. Good sell-out. Probably didn't get the result they wanted, I imagine, but I reckon there could be a lot of optimism for Leyton Orient fans for this season. So yeah, fair play to them. But moving on to obviously the Reds, Charlton. I'm just buzzing with the result. I probably don't sound it because obviously I've got to be honest, I'm a bit deflated because of the whole like camera issues, and like I promise I will get better at this. Like one day I'm gonna look back on this and think that was shit. But yeah, just a really good result. Clean sheet, home win. Can't ask for any more. You obviously, as a football fan, want to see loads of goals, but as long as I get 3 points, I don't give a crap, to be honest here. Yeah, just saw some really promising things. Ashley made a couple of good saves, but like I said before, I still think he sort of lacks that authoritative figure, like that presence, that physical presence. I think some goalkeepers, they just have that stature where it's like, look, this is my goal. There's nothing coming past me. They command their players. They're loud, and I just don't think he has that. And I think if he can get that nailed down, we've got a serious keeper on our hands, because by all means he's got good reaction times. He's a good shot stopper, but I think he needs to be a bit more intelligent and a bit more vocal and be a bit more commanding in claiming those like long balls, them balls in the air. But I think we've got a good keeper on our hands, and I think we're very lucky that we've got two keepers of the quality of Harry Eisted and Ashley Brewer. And just a quick one, I've looked at the side of my camera, I've got 16 minutes left of recording or battery time allegedly, so I just want to make sure I get it all done in one cut. I'm not someone who does things over and over again. I like to, you know, when I'm doing presentations at work or whatever, I like just speak off, like fire from the hip sort of thing. I'm not a fan of not talking naturally and over editing things, so I just want to just get it all out there. So I'm going to try and run this up as quick as I can. Our back line was really good, but I will say, I think that's because Leyton Orient were more focused on neutralising our midfield. So I think they had a lot of players focusing on Coya Anderson, and Scott Fraser a lot, and that's why we saw quite a quiet game off Scott Fraser, because they weren't pressing our centre backs as much when we had the ball, because they're more focused on containing the midfield, which is actually, in all honesty, quite a good strategy by them, because Scott Fraser and Anderson are very good attacking outlets in midfield. So our centre backs had a lot of time on the ball that I don't think we're going to get away from home against, like, let's say, Peterborough on Saturday. That's something I noticed, that I think I've seen a lot of praise for our centre backs, but I don't think they're really tested that much. The only time we really got tested is when they caught us on the break, which I credited Leyton Orient for earlier. I think they were very promising on the break, and I think they were quite dangerous, and they were a stern test for us, to be fair. But I think that our defenders got away with quite an easy run out against Leyton Orient, quite an easy run out. So I'll be keeping an eye on the centre backs more so against Peterborough, where they've got very good attacking options and they're at home, and they've got a manager who plays attacking football in Darren Ferguson. So, but overall, solid showing. Nothing really too concerning about the centre backs. And I think Lloyd Jones had a pretty good game. He doesn't look 100% fit to me, which is, I think, what we all kind of expected anyway. But he definitely needs to be bedded in a bit more. But there's some promising signs there from Lloyd Jones. I want to touch on Teo Aiden. He only made like a 20-minute appearance, but like it's exactly what we expected. Really, well, I say we, like what I was expecting. Sorry, he just looked so mustard. Like he just looked, he made it look so easy. Like every time he was on the wing with the ball, like I thought, he slowed the play down. He looked comfortable. He was finding passes. He weren't like running past people like you're going to see Corey do. But he was doing something important for us, which was when you're up 1-0 and you're trying to see a game out, you sort of stop the game being emotional. Like you stop the game being aggressive. And I think the way he looked so measured on the ball was a massive attribute for us. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him, integrate himself into the team more. My only concern is, where does that leave Corey? Because that first 45 minutes of Corey Blackett-Taylor, this is what we love to see. They're 32. I think it was Noel Hunt or Jack Hunt. That's the kind of game where you think to yourself, is this the job for me? In fact, I'm not even being rude. It's just the truth. Like he got skinned so many times. It must be so horrible to go on a football pitch and be skinned that many times. I think he must have glid past him about 4 times maybe, and just made it look easy. And obviously when we got our goal, it was number 32, Hunt, I think his name's Hunt, who got skinned again, and Corey just got in the box, does what he does best, glided in there, sent the ball in. It could have gone Alfie May or Dobbo's way, but obviously, fortunately, it went Dobbo's way and Dobbo got the goal. So hats off to him. I'm happy to see the boy off the mark already. I would like to have seen it be May, just strictly because you always want to see your main striker, your main man, open up his account at a new club and get confidence from it. but ultimately I like seeing Dobbo score as well, which is a very rare occasion. So yeah, good goal and a great reaction from the fans when we scored, as usual. Like the Valley's always rocking when we score. Like, you know, I'd love to see us be a bit more vocal, like during the quiet patches of the game. But you know, I still think overall we've got a pretty decent fan base, pretty decent home support, one of the better atmospheres across, well, compared to last season. And yeah, just a great reaction from us. Obviously, you can see it in the previous clips I posted anyway. And yeah, just a good goal, just a good work team goal. So I can't really talk too much about midfielders because Corey Anderson is someone, and Scott Fraser, who are very creative and comfortable on the ball and great dribblers. But I just do think that Leyton Orient's game plan sort of neutralised them a bit, and it was mainly our attacking outlets on the wing and our centre-backs that sort of showed most of the good play, in particular, obviously, Corey Blackett-Taylor. One thing I do want to really talk about, and I'm going to try not rave about him too much, but George Dobson just looked fantastic. Like what more could you ask for? Like, genuinely, what more could you ask for? Like, he just slowed the game down. He just makes it look like he's got more time on the ball than he actually has. He'd done his usual antics where he dribbled and he sent people packing, sent them to the shops. Like, he's just so good on the ball at times, and just took a lot of pressure off us. Got stuck in. Typical George Dobbo performance, and I was really happy with him. If anything, I'll probably give him the man of the match, just strictly because he'd done his job, he was energetic, and he scored the goal. So yeah, that's pretty simple for me. I would give it to Corey, but obviously he faded after about 60 minutes, and George Dobbo was obviously, you know, played the length of the game pretty much. So yeah, great performance from Dobbo. Campbell was decent, decent little cameo. Obviously Blackett-Taylor, we touched on him, and the main two people I want to talk about, because again I've spoke too much as it is again, sorry, is the new boys, Panucci Kamara and Alfie May. It's exactly what I expected, and hopefully more, we'll see. Panucci Kamara he's just fantastic, man. Like, he come on and just the game changed completely. We went from, you know, Leyton Orient looking like they might get a goal back to the ball's just stuck to his feet. He just gliding past people, and he's just so tall. And like, you know, it reminds me of Joe Aribo a bit in that he had those dangly legs, and it felt like, can he stretch that ball? Surely not, and he just does. I love seeing like a taller midfielder that's, you know, a bit more robust and energetic. And I think we haven't had that since Joe Aribo, to be honest with you, who's versatile in attacking, passing, and defending. And I think we've had a real coup getting Panucci Kamara, and I can see him probably being player of the season if he can keep that sort of performance up and obviously start all the games. But yeah, really happy debut from the boy Panucci Kamara. The only thing I'm going to not let him off with is that goal attempt was shocking. Like, it was just shit. Like, straight up, like, it's more or less an open goal. He's not run under too much pressure. He could have even took a touch or used a different, I don't know, but either way, it's effectively an open goal, and he's absolutely just blasted it wide. That was his only negative, though. Other than that, it was a pretty, you know, let's say 8 out of 10, solid performance, really good, very promising signs. I think for a long time with Charlton, I've been worried about our midfielders. I've always said we don't have the midfielders, whereas at the moment it feels like we've got midfielders in numbers. So I'm very happy that it looks like we're not going to struggle too much in that department this season. And then finally, before I cut this video off and start rambling, Alfie May, what a boy, player. If we get a strike partner for Alfie May, we're going to be such a problem for any team, especially at home. He just doesn't stop running. He must be knackered after the game. Like, he caused, I lost count how many like missed goal kicks or centre back blunders or whatever. Like, the only obviously thing we can talk about is the offside. He was offside, you know, quite a fair few times. But that's something where, when the chemistry builds between the centre mids and Alfie May's runs, that'll improve. But obviously at the moment, he's in a position where it's a new club and players might not be able to read that, or, without being disrespectful to players like Macaulay Bonne and Jayden Stockley, they're probably not used to a player that can actually fucking run. Like, I'm not even like being horrible to them, but when was the last time we saw a Charlton striker who actually looked like he had bite and venom up front and could run about that much? Maybe Taylor, like, but anyway, just fantastic. And you can tell he's going to score a hat load of goals. If we get a striker 20 plus easily. I see it being, but I think he really does need a target man, someone to just take some of the physical battle away from him a little bit more, and let him run a bit more and expose them channels and run off of defender's shoulder, because he's got pace for days. He's very clever. He's very aware of what's going on, and I'm very hopeful for Alpha this season. I just think, right, I'm sorry about the cut again. My camera overheated again. It's overheated 5 times. I'm trying to make it make sense. It doesn't like being outside, because if it rains or it's cold, it don't like that. And if it's inside, it overheats. So I don't know about the camera. I'm starting to think it's a dodgy camera. Anyway, where was I with May? Basically, to round it off with the post-match analysis, May was fantastic. He's the best striker in the world. Jazz, like I was writing on about. I'm so sorry for the disorganisation. I'm just going to wrap it up there. It's been a proper frustrating experience, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to grow from it. I'm going to stay positive. I really hope you watch my next video, which is going to be obviously Newport County away, and then following that, Peterborough away. Please stick with me. I'm going to try a lot better. I'm going to do better next time, guaranteed. I'm going to have more clips. I'm actually going to go to Charlton, not on a match day, and get the slow-mo shots I want of like the ground and all that jazz when the weather's better, just so I can actually not worry about it as much when I get there and just get straight into interviewing people. Because just as like a post Charlton analysis breakdown after this, my intent is, if I was to do like a little timeline, we'll start from here. The idea is a little bit of intro with like your music and shots of the ground or the bridge, whatever, into a little bit of a pre-match preview by myself, straight into talking to some fans outside the ground or on the concourse. I don't fucking know. Excuse my language, sorry. And then talking about the lineup, what I expect is going to happen during the game. Then I'll obviously have a few shots of the game itself. I'll try and capture key moments, like hopefully get a Dobbo tackle in there, maybe. Get a CBT run down the wing, Alfie Mace goal. I don't know. I'll try and get some, good shots. The camera quality is clearly very good. And then once that's done, I'll do a half-time little spruce of a thought, and then I'll go on a concourse again, hopefully interview some people queuing up for the 15-minute long fans for their beer. Hopefully they're willing to talk to me, and then just rest of the game, post-match, and I'll come back, sit in my kitchen with my dreadful budget Charlton background, just so it looks like it's semi-interesting, otherwise just a bunch of plain cupboards. And yeah, I can only apologise again. I thought it would go a bit different in this. Unfortunately, it hasn't. But like I said, I had to get my foot in the door. I had to get the ball rolling, and I appreciate it's not the best content, but it's still content, and I want to get better from this. And again, the main objective was to start the channel, to let people know I'm going to do this for the foreseeable future, and just to get confidence front of the camera. And to be honest, even like rambling on this much, I feel like I've become more comfortable. Obviously, you'll have to excuse my animation if it frustrates you. That is just how I am as a talker. If I'm talking about something I enjoy, in particular Charlton, I will move a lot. My head's going to be all over the place. That's just how I am as a person. And that's it really. So if you watched this far, I really appreciate you. Even if you didn't and you decided to like skip through and get to this point, I still appreciate it. Obviously, I'm not going to force you to do anything, but I'd appreciate any sort of likes, comments, subscribes. I couldn't care if you comment saying this was crap, Any feedback's welcome, and I really appreciate if you watch the next couple of videos. Well, the next load of videos that are going to come through on this channel. And yeah, subscribe, like, as they say, and I'll see you at the next one. And I look forward to seeing seeing Charlton fans at the next game. So Newport County away. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching.